has done quite well since they've started playing League of Legends in Korea, since the Empire organization has took them up. But of course, they do have a new lineup here. They've got a very familiar face to a lot of people, and we'll get there right now. I guess we are going to get things kicked off. Loco Doco and has joined back into competitive League of Legends, probably to the delight of much of the Western audience who do love the guy, and what's not to love, I suppose. But yeah, no,
original TSM member,
Yep.
a recent CLG member. He's been around the NA scene for a long time. One of those first breakout streamers, following in the following such names as Hotshot GG, of course. So it'd be interesting to see whether IG did their homework yesterday. You have to think they were watching against Shield, or of course, I mean, it's an IG champ select, so you never know what to expect.
No, the bans could be reasonably normal, though I already see a pretty interesting deviation. Shen there, the first ban from IG, very normal. Master Yi immediately banned by Najin Shield. Immediately.
We saw Zitai actually struggle playing AP Master Yi a couple of times, starting up that Doran's ring, which might have been a bit too aggressive for him. But clearly, Shield knows something here about Master Yi, and they've banned him out.
Yeah, no Yi here, no Vi either, another pretty common ban. Sonu, interestingly, a ban here. There was a lot of very friendly, awesome banter between the two teams that sadly we couldn't get on stream. But Wolf was actually complaining to IG that why do they ban supports, and IG basically said, too strong. Support players too strong, so he banned supports out. And they banned Sona there as a respect there to Wolf. It's a very strong Sona player. Rises the last ban there for IG, and Kale very quickly, as we wrap up the bans nice and speedily here, is the last ban from Najin Shield, which gives IG their pick of whatever they want, and they're going to take Lulu, kind of still, I guess, dunking on Wolf a little here, trying to restrict his champion pool, but they apparently do not want him getting any of the good champions, because they banned Sona and they've picked Lulu here as a blocker pick almost.
Yeah, and this, probably a Lulu support, but given his Invictus game, he could even be a Lulu mid from Zitai, so... But the instant reply with a combination we've talked about quite a bit, the Rumble Jarvan, the long-range initiation. Jarvan has obviously a gap closer, his ult is a targeted gap closer, and flash available, and Rumble, I mean, his cast range on that equalizer is just unparalleled.
It's very large, yes. And we've seen the kind of the Holy Trinity combo when we first saw that was Rumble, Jarvan, Kale. No Kale here, unfortunately. It eventually another ultimate with a surprisingly large range. But we're still going to get Rumble Jarvan action here, and that's the first two pickups here. Very fast for Najin Shield. Now IG, as we said, we never quite know what to expect from these guys. They are the Enigma team. They love mixing it up here, and sadly they're not going to get too crazy yet. They're going to have Misfortune and Xin Zhao as their second and third picks here in this draft. Pretty normal.
Interesting to see a Misfortune pick into Jarvan and Rumble, who can really punish champions who want to stay at that. I mean, Misfortune ideally wants to stay at the back, channel that bullet time, and very difficult to do. And then here we go. Tristana Thresh is the complete AD carry lane for Najin Shield. Thresh only enabled on this Taiwanese 20 realm today.
Yes.
And Shield taking full advantage.
And here it comes, and I have to say, as excited as I am to see Thresh, Loco Doca's Tristana is legendary, absolutely legendary. This guy's been playing Triss since beta, pretty much, and he is, if he is known for anything, it is his Tristana play. So we'll see if Loco can bring his
for once,
old faithful.
The time delay on the chat just loses some of the impact. It's what sort of momentous thing seeing Tristana locked in there.
And Thresh as well, who can't be excited by that. I mean, they tried to kind of block Wolf out a little here, ban one of the supports, pick another one away from him, but Thresh here is the pickup, and this is Thresh's first outing in a competitive tournament. I'm not actually sure. I don't know if he's been played at LCS yet.
He has been played in the LCS to mixed success. Hasn't been paid as much as everyone. There was so much hype about Thresh that it was almost anticlimactic when he was only trumpeted out a few times. But obviously has that kit full of CC and innovative things. And look, Jarvan has the EQ. So is there going to be some sort of EQ Lantern ultimate combo here? Some sort of wombo combo? That's what we want to see.
They couldn't get the Kale, so they're like, we'll just try and cover more ground. I mean, Tuesday we saw just a stroke of genius from World Elite with Jarvan plus Singe teleport. That was beautiful to watch, and maybe we'll have some more magic coming up here, but do not adjust your screens, ladies and gentlemen. This is live. We are slightly ahead of you, as we are 2 minutes. We have a 2-minute delay on the stream as per the rules of the tournament, but everything we are seeing and everything you will get 2 minutes into the future, past however that works, time is hard, is live. This is all live. The picks are live. The players are playing right now, and last pick looks like it is going to be Kha'Zix here. from Najin Shield, probably in the mid lane, given the rest of their picks.
And it's the Diana pickup from IG that I think is the most... I hesitate to call it oddball. I mean, whoever's been watching the LCS has seen Scar on a complete tear with that champion. Just a dominant champion in mid. She received those really big nerfs that, obviously saw play slip away from her. Then she was kind of rebalanced. She was put into a spot where she feels quite comfortable, and she has such a strong kit. She's an AP bruiser. I mean, that her W really allows her to get quite tanky. You can build Abyssal and Zhonya's quite comfortably on her. She has wave clear with that Q, and she's an assassin. So AP bruiser assassin with CC. It lets you know just how flexible a champion Diana is.
Yeah, and Chad is finally catching up to Thresh Tristana. And yeah, I'm as excited as Chad is now becoming. Planetech, actually one of our mods, all caps OMG Loco Trist. He was apparently as excited as I was when that happened. And
well, he's not a Trist based on. We're always excited to see Trist just because she doesn't see a lot of play. But as you rightly point out, if Loco Doco was ever to have his star next to a champion, it would be Tristana.
It would be. And some pretty cool champions actually coming to this game. Not quite the craziness from IG that we've seen before, that we've come to certainly love. But still nice, yeah. I'm not going to complain about a lot of what's going on here. There's some cool stuff happening, and personally, as the first ever Thresh game I think we'll get to cast, it's just that much sweeter here, and this should be an incredible series.
So I'm just now trying to think about how these teams match up. A lot of CC potential with the Diana and with the Diana E, and diving in with their ultimate and activating E in the Malphite. In fact, a wombo combo if you add Lulu and Xin Zhao to the mix, and it's going to be all about effectively 3 assassins and potentially the Lulu ultimate on one of them fighting in front of Miss Fortune trying to get her full channel ultimate out. I mean, that's what Miss Fortune's best known for, is the potential armor shred if she picks up a Black Cleaver, or immense damage that her ult provides. But the enemy team, they have got means to deal with it. I mean, once Kha'Zix hits level 11, he has a 750 range, I believe, jump, might even be further. Jarvan, we've already established he can cover a lot of ground. Even more potentially with that Thresh Lantern coming through, and Rumble's ult range is just ridiculous. So it does feel like Najin should have picked the tools to deal with a Miss Fortune pick, and Tristana's kind of the question mark. She either seems to really get going or really, really suffer, especially in the mid game. But you got to trust Loco Doco on his champion of choice.
Yeah, I really like the fact that he's not picked a skin here for Tristana. It's very classy. I mean, they have access to all the skins. Even some of the legacy ones and the limited ones as well. I think every possible skin or very close to is available.
I don't think the legacy ones, because you can't buy them in the store.
That's true, actually. A lot of them are unlocked though, so maybe. But certainly, Loco would have had a choice of a skin, but he's gone vanilla here. Kind of harkening back to his early days on the champion, potentially. Save here, having a couple issues getting in, but he shouldn't be too much longer, I imagine. I like Jarvan's banner actually against Miss Fortune's ultimate, just as a small thing to kind of mitigate a little bit of the armor shred. Kind of like, I guess, Taric is used as well against Miss Fortune in a way. Mm-hmm. Or just in general against a lot of AD. You get a lot of value there. So that's one cute little thing.
And he's always casting that flag whenever a fight occurs to try and get that knock up. So AoE 22 armor to his team. I mean, 110 armor altogether. You really can't complain.
No, and a bit of attack speed as well, which Tristana in particular will be very happy to have a tad extra. What do you think of barrier here from the ADs as we load into the game, by the way? Both of them have actually gone for the same summoners on their support AD bottom line. They've got barrier for the AD carries and exhaust for both supports.
A friend of mine actually, along the same lines, was asking about Wei Zhao's AD carry runes, and so I went and popped onto the Tawny Realm yesterday to have a look at what he was running. And it was interesting to me that he was running a very low amount of magic resist, some flat mana regen, but he was going 21-9 on basically every champion. So he's got extra armor, he's got 30 AD. AD carries now open up with that Doran's Blade that gives them 80 health, so that's 110 health between the Mastery and the Doran's Blade. And then Barrier on top of that is just, I mean, if you take improved Barrier, so if you go down the defense spec, that's 135 shield at level 1. So much of AD carry's pickups and runes are towards level 1 that Barrier kind of feels like the logical extension, in that you can use it to bait, but man, you can really, really go really heavy at level 1 and try and get the kill with so many tools you're runing and masteries towards to to try and get that early lane dominance.
Yeah, we've got two pretty good duelists in a way. I mean, MF is definitely known for her dueling ability, just throwing out double ups for the auto attack reset and massive burst damage potentially. Just good with the impure shots as well. I mean, when heal was a thing, or when sustain lanes were a thing, impure shots. In fact, Misfortune was actually kind of picked up again after an interesting early release. Back in, oh man, it was a while ago. But there's like, apart from the few early games that were actually around during the early part of Season 1, which is more like pre-Season 1 at this point, Misfortune was picked up really when Soraka was very popular because of impure shots. And you know, there's a bit of that there as well. There's plenty of dueling potential for Kid here in Misfortune. Tristana, though, as we've mentioned, loves to have a really strong early game. And if there's going to be any fireworks, I think it's definitely going to be in bottom lane. And like you said, Papa, Barrier, kind of the logical choice here for how that wants to work out.
You might want to check with our Skype group here, as we've been sitting in Champions Set for quite a while.
Oh, I'm actually in the game paused.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I am stuck at Champions Set. That is awkward.
Interesting.
And I don't know if one is able to get back from there.
Alright, I'm trying to free my mouse from the client. No one else can see this anymore. It used to be funny, but now it's just me battling with my peripherals.
Alright, I've all left forward. It lets me reconnect. That's good.
I didn't make it. My mouse is not being freed by the client. It's actually trapped, but that's cool. We'll be sweet. The unpause should happen soon.
For once, I'm the one that gets trolled by this client.
Yeah. Someone actually said called it pause. Yeah, I did notice 2 minutes ago someone said in before pause, so JKR801, you called it. Well done. I don't think anybody likes the fact that that happened, but at least you called it. Looks like the VPN is having a couple issues here for the Koreans. They are, of course, connecting to Taiwan, so a little bit easier for China than it is Korea. And it is China vs. Korea today as well. We had Taiwan vs. China before, now we're going to have China v. Korea here. As
China trying to get one back on after getting dominated by Taiwan.
Yeah, that's true. And Korea trying to probably avenge the loss to China against World Elite 2 days ago. And as somebody put it very, very adequately, Logudoko's return to competitive League of Legends is going to be met by two very tough matches in bottom lane. He had to do with Wei Zhao last time on Tuesday, and today he's got to contend with Kid and Xiao Xiao down the bottom lane. So, trial by fire for Najin Shield, who have just recently, I guess, kind of reformed and reshuffled themselves around. Can't imagine this pause goes on for too much longer, fingers crossed. But we'll wait it out patiently as we let everyone reconnect to make sure they're good to go. I'm just kind of checking through.
It wouldn't be a long pause without a Jarvan in the game, would it, Pastry Time?
No, it wouldn't. That pause is
legendary.
Yes, too legendary. Infamous, almost. I guess we talked about teleport on Zataya. That's kind of a funky spell from Diana, who is actually quite good at roaming as far as AP mids are concerned.
There's a lot of flavors of playing Diana, and especially in terms of item builds that tend to be quite flexible. I know that Skara, he always takes the Ignite, but he was known for his Abyssal into Zhonya's build. But and also in terms of build order, picking up W at level 4 just so that you're even better duelist, but you don't have that CC for the jungler to capitalize on. But then again, you don't really want to gank a Diana lane unless it's a real mismatch before 6. So it's kind of a style choice there. But today, I mean, in the LCS, we saw a lot of Natural's Tooth on Diana, which obviously synergizes very well with her kit. It's cooldown reduction, it's AP, and applies her passive more often, which has a massive base value. It's something that's slept on, but at level 18, 290 base AoE magic damage on third attack from her passive, so proccing that more, definitely a good thing. It applies on turrets, so it helps you push, so Natural's Tooth, kind of an interesting addition to the Diana arsenal. She's just very flexible. You can build her super tanky, you can go glass cannon and do a lot of damage. She's got a lot going on.
Yeah, and after her kind of suite of nerfs and then, I guess, rebuffed to kind of a normalized level, I think Diana's been criminally underplayed, even when she got rebuffed. And she's in a really good spot. She's still a great champion. You get a lot of play out of her. You can definitely milk her for a lot of different things if you know what you're doing. She's, I wouldn't say like the highest skill ceiling champ, but she's got a lot of tricks to her, so you get a lot of value out of practicing your Diana. And Zatai here, I mean, he's known for playing a lot of funky mids, but he's going to be very comfortable here on Diana, I think. And it's nice to see her kind of stepping back into the limelight a little after a period of, I think, unfair neglect, I'd say. I feel like Diana feels a tad neglected.
The one thing that comes through from chat here, Lokodoko sharing that save can't connect, something wrong with his client. Give him a few more minutes, we're trying to figure it out.
No worries.
So
thanks, Loko.
That is the fill-in there. They're definitely interesting comps that do very similar things, and there's assassins on both sides, there's gap close on both sides. I mean, the big difference to me, I guess, is supports, because I mean, that ultimate from Lulu provides so much to a dive. It can either save someone being dived, or it can add an additional knock up into slow, AoE slow, that could turn a fight, whereas, I mean, Thresh is kind of capable of anything.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of a lot of different support champions thrown into a blender, and then the mix at the end just happens to be a Thresh. He just does, he's got hooks, he's got shields, he's got crazy jumpy mobility gap closes, he's got one of the best ultimates in the game that does crazy damage and crazy amounts of slow. I don't know. And he can pull people in, he can push them away. Yeah, he does a lot of different things utility-wise. And given how little kind of, I guess, competitive Thresh we have, I mean, solo queue's been played quite a bit actually. I know a lot of people mentioning the European players like him a lot. Both Crepper and Edward have been spotted playing him quite a bit to great effect in solo queue. In fact, I watched Edward recently play Thresh, and it was very amusing. He was just being Edward, essentially, just taking CS and getting kills and doing a lot of work. But yeah, Thresh is an exciting champion. I'm glad that he's seeing play here. I'm hoping to see more of him. But as you said, Papa, he just kind of does everything. So it's up to Wolf to get as much as he can out of a champion like Thresh. And as we said, IG were kind of leaning on him a little in terms of bans and picks and stuff like that. So I'm kind of excited to see what a player of Wolf's caliber can do with a champion like Thresh.
Wayland77 in the chat asking about the NGTV Battle Royale game. Actually, that's going on at the same time. It was definitely tabbed over to there during our long break. So if you have one of the LOL stream things, you should be able to find it on ustream.tv/nicegametv, I believe. So feel free to go and head that out there. I'm not worried about advertising that stream, since that's also content that we've been covering. But no, I mean, unfortunately, we are definitely tied up with Stars War here, which we've got a massive game coming, but the pause is a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, again, we said a couple of minutes ago that shouldn't be a couple more minutes, so can't imagine it's more than a minute or two from this point, which is good. So if you're just hearing that a couple of minutes into the past or future, I still don't know how that works. I should just not try and figure it out. My brain doesn't like numbers as it is, probably won't like these ones either. But yeah, shouldn't be too much longer, which is always nice.
This isn't often the case where I look at two team comps and I feel like they kind of both do everything in terms of they're both about diving, they both have peel for the AD carry, as we see Save finally reconnect.
Yay!
They both have multiple damage threats. I mean, on the IG side, Malphite not really known for his damage, but Xinjiao, Diana, Misfortune all do damage. Rumble, Jarvan, and Kha'Zix, all great damage dealers, let alone, of course, Locodoco on Trist. So just so much damage out there. CC, control, team fight. I mean, they're definitely not split push teams by pick, although that is the Diana pickup of teleport there. But it's going to be an exciting one as we see the pause finally tick down.
Yep, thanks for your patience, of course. Everyone there waiting. It was a long wait, but probably going to be worth it here as we kick off Game 1 between IG and Najin Shield. Oh, it feels good to say that. It's going to be such a great series here. Gigabyte Stars War League, of course, is the tournament. Proudly sponsored by Gigabyte, Intel, and Corsair. As we see Kid here moving out, doing what he does best. Or doing what Misfortune does best, I should say, and Strut.
Just have to change the champions slightly here.
Yep, had to maneuver Loco, who was being a rebel. Decided to be in the
Garena people were asking for support then at AD carry, which of course goes against our usual AD carry support, and I wanted to shout out, but just stay quiet.
Yeah, I mean, we can just do a quick bit of maneuvering. We've got the standard setup here. Support's on the bottom, top's on top. I guess that kind of makes sense, but that's moving quickly into Dirty Joke territory, so I'll abort now. Before we get any further. A minute has now passed as both teams... I was
about to say the word deep, so maybe that's a good call. But very deep ward here coming out from Najin Shield, much like we saw World Elite doing yesterday, although they like the double ward to provide complete knowledge of the enemy's bot lane.
Yep.
Bot jungle, sorry.
They want to relive the glory days of clairvoyance, just literally searchlighting the enemy jungler from camp to camp.
What do you think of this Explorer ward here? Just I guess, wanting to know about what's happening at Wraiths. Maybe that's to counter the mid and top lane sharing experience. I'm not sure.
Potentially.
Although Loco suspiciously near the top lane.
Yeah, he is near the double golems on the wrong side, as far as the general.
That says Misfortune.
Funnily enough, this actually hurts the traditional kind of blue side bottom lane though, because they're not going to get the extra experience.
Now I know what's happening here.
Okay. What is happening?
Of course, it is IG all day, every day.
IG being IG?
Yep.
The IG special?
You worked it out, yeah.
2 mid? Yeah, it looks suspiciously like 2... I don't even know anymore.
No, now I'm not even sure.
Were you gonna say 2 mid?
I thought we were going to see Diana 1v2, which is more than a little crazy.
Yeah, with that teleport, that was my other thought. With 2 mid as the result, but PDD's going, what is going on here?
Bot lane with blue buff. Okay.
Yes, that is... Wait.
And Zinjo literally...
Yeah, he got really low.
Red buff.
I heard someone dying, I was looking for who it was. Hook there actually coming in onto Kid.
That is super awkward.
That is very awkward. I mean, he got a bit of help, but no other help coming, and Illusion is a little bit behind now in the jungle. I mean, Nofe's going to hit level 3 before he hits 2.
This is the part where you want to end your custom game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're like testing a jungle rate. You're like, okay, that doesn't work.
This is not the right runes I need for this.
No. But Illusion, sadly... I mean, technically in a custom game, but he probably doesn't want to leave. Certainly does not have the option to reset here and try again.
He might want to leave.
He maybe, but I'm sure his team would have something to say about that. So, alright, as the dust settles, it's 1v1 bottom lane, Rumble versus Malphite, 2v2 top, as MF and Lulu take on Tristana and Thresh. And then, kind of our expected mid lane here is Diana takes on Kazi. So,
one thing I'll comment on in terms of this giving PDD blue here, one of the things about this is that Rumble was considered the counter lane matchup to Malphite. When Malphite was seeing a lot of play up the top lane, Rumble emerged as that counter pick. So I can definitely see giving him a level advantage, but that's really, really wanting PDD to be competitive down bottom here.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because I would have had to expect a 1v1 lane here then, because I don't know if they would want to give Malphite. I mean, maybe in a 1v2 he'd actually want it anyway. But who knows? He's actually lane. Maxing his skills now for lane.
We started Cloth as well, which aborted lane swap maybe? It's very, very strange start here given the jungle problems as well.
Yeah, I think both teams just kind of figured out what was going on and wanted to match up. I think at least Shield wanted to match up their lanes 2v2, 1v1, 1v1. So they've moved their duo lane up top now, and we're just kind of having upside down mode. It's Australian League of Legends, guys! Everything's upside down. No,
so it feels.
So it feels. Bottom lane though, PDD could be in trouble here as jungle pressure comes in. Nofe doing work here. Teleport coming in there from Diana. Yeah, here comes mid lane counter gank as the time makes it in there. Good Moonfall actually coming in. Nofe taking quite a bit of damage as PDD takes a chunk there from Rumble as well as he comes back in.
And that Ignite was basically to say, look, I know you're tanky, but I don't want you fighting this 2v2 anymore.
Just make sure he stays out of the way. PDD going to stay in lane, chug down some potions here. He's got a couple left. Well, his cloth armor still intact, so he can stay here, still keep some farm up. But a nice attempt there from Zatai. Sadly, pretty much I think saved the day and made sure nothing went wrong there. Because PDD looked like he was in pretty deep dive territory there for Joven. They were hungry anyway from the looks of things. But
chat catching up to the unfortunate jungle shenanigans.
Yeah, that was.
And it does feel like given the start, given the cloth regrowth, rejuvenation beat start, you have to think that on some level, I mean, you could say that IG kind of outplayed themselves in the level 1 here, because all that's happened is that the jungle...
Oh, here comes Jarvan Flash in there as well from Thresh! That was so cool.
Best fail gank ever?
Best fail gank ever, yes. As Kid there gets probably unfortunate bounce, not hitting Lokodoku with that double up. Hits a minion instead. I mean, you said it, Papa, that's kind of the stuff we were hoping to see with Thresh Jarvan, and we got it there. That was...
Yeah, and they're in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, Jarvan's coming back. Thresh here with 1Q. Could seal the deal here. They're going to go in though. Kid wants to go on to Wolf. He gets pulled back in there. Xiaoshu in a bit of trouble as well. Kid turning around, flashes out of the way. First blood there goes down. Loco jumping on top of Kid as well. Lulu, can they protect him? Barriers coming up for both. That is Loco though gets killed by Kid. It's probably going to die to Nofe here. Help picks not available. No barrier left. And Zatai not up in time there. No teleport up for Diana. Walks up there trying to help out, but 2-for-1 trade there with the first blood. Probably the best possible thing they could have got out of that gank.
And once again, in a 2v3 situation, the AD carry picks up the double kill. That fantastic play from Kid. And wow, IG really putting their mark on this AD carry lane.
Yeah, I think a perfectly timed barrier there as well for Kid, and I think Loco mistimed his a little there, because by the time he used it, he was pretty much just dead at that point, and took enough damage there to just get killed after one auto. Used his flash as well, I believe, although it could have been rocket jump, but used all his escapes there and still
Flash is down.
I mean, everybody used a lot of summoners there. In fact, all 4 summoners in bottom lane are down on actually pretty similar cooldowns. So the supports and AD should have their respective summoners, because again, they do have mirrored summoners here. Should be up around the same time. As Malphite continues to see us reasonably comfortably down the bottom lane against Expression, who is just chilling on Rumble right now. He's got his ultimate. Does not have Ignite, but has Flash. PDD maybe baiting? I don't know. Just chilling. I mean, if Expression thinks that PDD is going to stay here, yeah, it just turns in for the Flame Spitter. That was weird. Expression camping his own lane. But
it's definitely... I mean, Expression wants Malphite to stay in this lane as long as possible now, because it's only downhill if he has no mana available.
Yeah, that's true. So PDD is fresh out of the blue bar. No mana left. Need some blueberries. But blue buff is gone now, so PDD is going to struggle a bit more. Has to get well into melee range and auto these creeps, and that's exactly what Expression wants here in Rumble. But looks like he's just CSing reasonably well. PDD, he's no stranger to these sort of strange situations, so he's doing admirably against the Rumble in particular.
Elsewhere, I mean, Zitai's lost a bit of experience to save here, having completed that roam, but he's level 6 now, so time to start trading. Unlike Skara, he has taken that early point in E, and
there's Jarvan as well coming in, but a nice dodge from Zitai actually. Gets out of the way. Oh, nice. Very cute. Damage comes out the Moon falls him back into turret range and throws out a bit of harass there as he QR combos him. But just a couple of trades there back and forth. Nobody dead yet. No summoners used either there. Zitai's teleport will be back up fairly soon as well. With that blue buff with level 6, can potentially start making a few more plays if he wants to get back in with a counter gank for a teleport. Save now. Gets blue buff for himself as well, so Kha'Zix's going to be much happier here in this lane. Has evolved his W as well, so going to be able to hopefully outclear Diana, although it's pretty close. They both push fairly hard. Diana, especially if she's left unmolested, will push very, very hard with her passive, as you noted before, Papa.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, although Diana's noted for having wave clear, she kind of needs AP after they nerf the base values quite consistently to instant clear a lane. And Kha'Zix kind of needs a bit of attack damage in level 9, so it feels like around the same time. I mean, creeps are almost going to be trivial in mid. The lane's going to be instantly pushed, so maybe the teleport pickup will allow just slightly better ganking for Diana, but it's hard to say.
Yep, down the bottom actually we've got some setup here. Illusion trying to bait Expression in, but he seems to know what's up. Just staying
suspiciously
very close
tasty.
Yeah, bait's a little bit too good to be true. Expression just hanging out by his turret. Xin wasting quite a bit of time here. PDD can set it up nicely with his ultimate. Looks like mid lane. As Diana takes him out there in a 1v1. Just stretching my mouse down there, and look what happens. Kha'Zix's going down there in the mid lane. It's Zitai with a very comfortable 1v1.
Down bottom, the gank does get off.
Yeah, so they're finally going in. Expression takes quite a bit of damage. Beautiful equalizer there. And thank goodness the rest of RG are getting out, because that would have been a very clean double kill otherwise. Top lane as well. Continued action. The Wild Growth comes off the box out there for Wolf as well. Zitai is in amongst the action though, and there's the Moonfall in. Nowhere for Thresh to run. Loco gets out. But a very nice gank there. Gives Misfortune that kill as bottom lane. I think we have more action. PDD stayed way too long there. Gets picked up by Expression. And Xin Zhao thankfully clearly out of the way down the bottom. And
I gotta say, Expression's equalizer there started to justify the lavish plays that Matt Noon's played on him, because it was just, he turned what should have been an easy kill secure into just a kill opportunity, and they took that.
Yeah, as I said, that was a beautifully placed Rumble out there. Caught them both there diving, and just Loco now getting dove. Speaking of tower dives there, Buster Shot's kid out of the way. Forces the flash there from Lulu as Shasha has to get out. Gonna recall as well. Very
stays in lane with some swagger there, Loco.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of left that gank fairly safe. I mean, he's Tristana. Probably feels pretty comfortable. Rocket jumping out of the situation with ultimate up as well.
Zita has to flash over the EQ combo. They stayed a little bit too long in mid, trying to farm up.
And has interestingly rushed Distortion Boots here. The Alex Itch style, I guess.
Well, if you have a look at his cooldowns, 188 second flash cooldown, 203 second teleport cooldown. The flash cooldown especially, 3 minutes and 8 seconds for flash is just, it's been a long, long time, if ever, that flash was ever on such a short cooldown.
Yeah, normally what, 300 I think?
300. Yes, 300.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah. So that's a big discount there on that one.
But it is 475 gold spent on, effectively cooldowns. It doesn't give you any damage in a fight, so I guess he feels confident going against God looks as I imagine he's starting to work towards a Seeker's Arm Guard.
I think the biggest thing is that if Zatai gets value out of his teleport, then it's a good buy. That's the main thing here. And I don't think he teleported up top before for that last gank, but he might have, but didn't quite catch it. It's still a reasonably long cooldown, despite the reduction here from the distortion boots. But yeah, when you have both flash and teleport, again, I kind of call it Alex Hitchstar because he does love to do this. Especially on Rise, he's one of his trademark champions. He loves going and flash teleport and is having distortion up early. And as I said, if he gets value out of it, then it's good. But if not, Zatai's gonna not like his investment so much. He kind of like my ability boots again with the Jarvan going in, but a great wild growth there from Shasha. Cataclysm catches him in, Thresh pulling them back in as well. Shasha though still alive, gets hooked back in though by Thresh, and Jarvan's trying to get it done. Kid though is chasing down Loco Doka, but at the last second barrier there from Tristana will keep them alive. Illusion coming in as well though as IG move in to defend, and amazingly as the tie comes in, I was gonna say no kills, but there's the cleanup. As Diana doesn't need the TP, just roams up top lane, is able to give Kid another kill. And I mean, as cool as the Thresh Jarvan is, IG's responses here have been absolutely fantastic when he's made it up in the top lane.
And I guess the one thing you can say is that if you use the Lantern offensively, and it looks fantastic, it looks like, you know, of the level of a Lee Sin Juke or a really high level play, you don't have that Lantern to play defensively with it.
No, and it's very all-in sort of initiation there. Shasha has to get away from the golems. They're very angry. They're very angry, actually. Double golems have never been angrier. But
in the commotion, though, Shield does pick up bottom turret.
I mean, Expression, he is, I think, the good news here for Najin Shield. He is just having the time of his life. He ults the creep wave, just trying to push as hard as he can and collect all the CS. I mean, he is very far ahead of Malphite at this point in CS. And Expression, as you said, McNoon has praised him. Oh man, I just jumped back. That was random as. Apologies. I have to jump back to live now. That was bizarre. Alright, cool. Nobody died. That was... No. I think I randomly rewound somehow. Apologies, stream. That does not normally happen. Just going to fast forward a little bit so we're back to live. All synced up. So you'll see a bit of a time warping going on. There we are, back. Again, apologies.
In terms of the purchases, we see the Bloodthirster completed on Misfortune, which just makes, I mean, with those 4 kills, almost impossible to draw Misfortune with her impure shots, passive damage, and the Bloodthirster this early. She's just a really strong duelist. And you imagine the Ruby Crystal is going to head in effect eventually to a Black Cleaver.
Delicious, delicious Black Cleaver. And this is kind of the stock standard Season 3 Misfortune build. Bloodthirst is very popular on AD carries in general in Season 3, but Misfortune, she loves her Black Cleaver, but you do need it at the right time. So we often see BT Black Cleaver. Gives you usually around the right timing here. It's top lane.
Top Zeta in a 1v2 situation tries to go aggressive.
Yeah, tower goes down. We'll see what Zatai can make of it though. Thresh is shielding himself up. So much burst damage just explodes there as Buster Shot comes in from Loco. Tristana could be able to pick up the kill. There's Zatai going over. Flash over from Loco Doco as well. Ward getting thrown down. That was a bit strange. Zatai there just wants vision actually. Very smart play from Diana.
So much cavalry coming straight down the river.
Oh, and Loco Doco's going to try and recall Zatai, and he's going to be the bait. Comes in with Power Cascade for the shield though, and it doesn't even matter. 1v1. Cavalry not required there as Zatai.
Such as Diana.
Zatai with complete class there in a 1v2 there. Collects both kills for free with no cavalry needed.
It's kills like that, pastry time, and passages of play like that, you know, a sheer 1v2. I mean, to be honest, they got a little bit of damage done when they were tunneling on the turret, but Diana is capable of so much, and the fact that only 2 teams really seem to be bringing her out, and to some degree a bit by Axich on Gambit Gaming, is shocking to me because she is a powerful, powerful beast.
Yep, Zatai showing it right here, making good use of all her abilities. And clearly, I mean, roaming, even without teleport, is being very aggressive with the roam here, and it's paying off. Zatai is just everywhere on the map right now, and you can tell he's 4-0-2 right now of the 8 kills that IG have, so 6 of the 8 kills he's been involved in, and he's collected half of those as kills for himself. So
the carry pastry time. I mean, 4 kills on Diana, 4 kills on Misfortune.
Yeah, if you're gonna dream up your splits of how you want to divide your kills amongst your team, that's probably the best you could ask for. Maybe your top laner wants a couple more depending on it, but PDD is playing Malphite. All he really needs to do is be tanky and ult people. The damage is definitely coming from Diana and Misfortune, so for IG's team, if they're gonna split the kills, they're pretty happy they're split this way. Kind of moving around the map now. Nofe chilling up in top. Boots of mobility on Jarvan here. trying to do as much work as Zatai. It's, you know, a lot to ask here. That's a lot of heavy lifting and roaming. Oh my goodness, Unstoppable Force saved now. Get a Lantern away, but gets knocked up by Wild Growth. Void Assault in there as well. And Hell Picks giving True Sight made such a difference there. IG though continuing to dive. Nofe taking a ton of damage. Bullet Time comes in there to try and pick up Jarvan. But not enough there. The hook onto Illusion maybe going to make it here, but no. PDD just says no. Case for you, Thresh. And IG, that was, oh man, Equalizer. Here comes Expression. It's not over yet. We're not done as Najin and Shield are thinking about going in, but as nice as the Equalizer was, Expression is too late to make a difference there in that team fight. And as I said, that was a perfect kill on save there with that tower dive.
Yeah, and just IG keep sneaking and steadily moving ahead. I mean, Jarvan's obviously picked up these mobility boots in part to try and make something happen. As we look here, 7 kills advantage, only 2k gold though, which is definitely significant.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 turrets are nice here. There's a decent amount of fun for both of them. There's a Lantern. Expression rides away. This Wolf gets him very quickly out of dodge, which is probably good news. Zatai is pretty scary at this point. I imagine has quite a chunk of gold to spend as well. I really can't emphasize... Oh, go ahead.
For the benefit of the viewers, we're seeing a Q max, the death sentence hook maxed here from Thresh, with it looks like the Dark Passage, the Lantern is the second max.
Yep. So getting more Q damage as well. Kind of, I guess, like the Blitzcrank philosophy with Rocket Grab. Yeah. Just kind of.
And it also actually increases the scaling on his the Q passive, yes, which is his auto attacks do
big
more
damages.
Yeah, more percentage of his AD.
Yes, which of course he gets from getting Souls. Nofa here gonna spot Illusion. Hello. That gets out there. Oh man, shut down there in top as Kha'Zix finally 3v1. They pick up Diana. And it took a lot there, but Zatai way out of position there at that point. I don't think had the Zhonya's that he now finishes as well. And the Equalizer goes down here. They're going to dive down the bottom lane. Cataclysm in as well. The Bullet Time, they're doing heaps of damage here as Expression's going down. No Fair Zerno getting chased off. Does Flag Toss out of the way. And Good Lance will slow him down. PDD going deep though. Flash Unstoppable Forces there, but his team not ready to follow up on that. And that will be a disengage here. Wolf looking to queue somebody here with the death sentence, but not going to happen. IG just going to retreat, pick up this outer turret now in the bottom lane if they can. Although it looks like they will have to back off as Kha'Zix comes in to reinforce as well. And yeah, poor Diana finally gets herself killed. Gives up the killing spree to Loco Doco as well, I believe. Who got that? No, he didn't get that kill. It's Kha'Zix. Apologies. Poor Loco is OT.
What he has done, however, he has farmed well. He has 34 CS on Misfortune. Still can't hold a candle in terms of gold just because of the sheer amount of kills on Misfortune. 1,000 gold behind. And I guess it just remains to be seen whether... I mean, he has the Infinity Edge complete, which is great, but we all know about Tristana's mid-game hump. If we look at his skill order right now, he has put 3 points into Rapid Fire. He is maxing a second, only the 1 point in W, so... Will he just have enough attack speed to get things done in team fights?
Well, given that skill order, what do you think of this timing here for the Infinity Edge for Loco Doco? Because he's got a sub 20-minute Infinity Edge here. Do you think that's timing you look for when you play Tristana? I mean, with the way he's skilled, it kind of makes sense to me, because Rapid Fire, in the time it's active, will make up in a big way for, you know, the lack of zeal or Phantom Dancer that you don't have right now. But, I mean, if you're Trist at this point, are you happy with where you are, given how the game's going?
I think the gap in his build, I mean... If a champion is known for rushing Infinity Edge, or if you intend to rush Infinity Edge on your AD carry, as we see Expression trying to damage Zatai up top, but he can't close the distance, you want to rush it without picking up the Vamp Scepter, just because you want to get it early, so you never have that mid-game damage hump that you kind of feel like if you have a 20-minute naked Infinity Edge. And he's done that here, but... You kind of want the Infinity Edge at 15 minutes and then, you know, kind of be moving towards the Zeal at this point, or at least have that Vamp Scepter for a bit of sustain. So it feels like he's down potentially a bit of sustain here.
Yeah, I did check, by the way, he does have 4% lifesteal, so running 2 Quints, which we have seen from a lot of IE first champions, which kind of makes up for the fact that, you know, you do want a Vamp Scepter, but you can't really afford to get one, as you noted, because you need to get that IE quickly. Given what's happening, I like what Loco's doing. I actually really like the Rapid Fire Max Second. I'd be curious to see if that's common when he's Tristana player, if that's an adaptation he's making based on where the game is now. Because they didn't really have the massive landing phase they probably would have liked in terms of, you know, getting lots of kills and circumventing that mid game with Tristana's strong early game and getting to a strong late game, which is what every Tristana player dreams of when you pick her. As we do have a pause here. Hopefully this one won't be nearly as long as the last one.
The CS values here is what's keeping shielding the game to some degree. I mean, they're behind in turrets, they're way behind in kills, but 2,000 gold is a minimal amount of gold.
Yeah, I mean, even at 20 minutes, it's 2,000 gold is not a big gap at all. What do you think of Rumble's Abyssal Scepter, though? I actually just noticed Expression had that. He does have a Giant's Belt now, so could be building Rylai as a very tried and true Rumble item if there ever was one, but I don't think I've ever seen Abyssal first on Rumble.
Yeah, it's definitely something you can consider, but it's usually when you have the double whammy of shutting down an enemy AP, an enemy double AP, and boosting kind of your own team's damage. And in this case, the magic damage is very, very sparing. I mean, if we're going to get particular, we have the flag toss from Jarvan, the passive that's going to apply on Kha'Zix's W, just on his spells do magic damage, so there's that. And Thresh, I believe, might have a minute. I think his ultimate might be magic damage. So the synergy's not quite there, but to be fair, Diana had a lot of kills very quickly, and maybe it was just a case of he had some magic resist because he needed it. He was buying AP, and they just thought, maybe this will give me the mid-game jump I need.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like an MR kind of buy here, because I would have almost expected a Haunting Guys instead, and into possibly quickly Andrews. I mean, Expression has had a good game here. He's done quite well in the bottom lane. He's not been involved in all that many kills, as you can see. His 110 is his score currently. But, I mean, he CS'd well, he did well in lane. He didn't stomp PDD, sadly, but he did very, very well, and was able to get a nice little early advantage. So, whatever his build's going to be, he's kind of on the way here. But Abyssal is interesting. I guess it must just be a tanky kind of thing here. Because with this Giant Spot coming up as well, feels a bit more bruisery. And Rumble is kind of a nice champion that way. Once you get to 6 items on Rumble, you're just kind of this incredible mix of crazy spells that at all ranges and massive damage and decent tankiness, and everyone just dies around you. But in this case, I think Expression realizes he's going to be tanking a little bit more damage, with Kha'Zix maybe being more of that damage dealer in this instance. So I think he's maybe just shifting himself slightly in his build to match, I guess, the AP bruiser role that he might need to be for his team.
Yeah, the only downside of the current Abyssal Scepter, I mean, they have actually indirectly buffed it a few times recently because of the decrease in cost of Haunting Guys, of Negatron Cloak, and it's just made the combine a bit cheaper, or 2560 gold now, I think it is that range nerf hurts him. I mean, he's kind of defined by the range of his ultimate, but most of the time you're not going to be in range to get that magic resist shred while your ultimate's running. It's only when you get into that close range and start using your ENQ for damage that the Abyssal Scepter -20 aura really applies.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. After they nerfed it, it's not nearly as good. Oh, so silly. I didn't realize how large that was until they showed it. I think it was a fun moment for a lot of people when they kind of had the video being like, this is what it used to be, this is what it is now. People are like, what? Really? That's silly. And Dragon in here now for IG. Going to pick up a little bit more gold, so had that fairly mild gold lead they have with a bit more extra, which is always nice. Close to 3,000 ahead now.
Couple of style choice things coming in here. We got the Locket on Xin Zhao. Very expected after Diamond Prox's performance against the Aegis on Jarvan. Both of them going to be providing free stats in a different way. You know, we're going to have the flat 150 shield from the Locket compared to 10 armor, 15 magic resist, and then the flag toss armor and attack speed, which has been maxed first here by Nofi. So a lot of free stats coming out from that Jarvan.
Yeah, I mean, Jarvan, as we've said a lot, he does everything. And a lot of Jarvan's build to provide everything for their team, to continue to do everything. They are, in a very kind of hidden way almost, Jarvan is the ultimate support tank, weirdly, which is strange, because a lot of people consider Jarvan as a bruiser, but certainly as a jungler especially, when you're being very cost efficient with your build, Jarvan to me feels just so strong utility-wise. I mean, he provides more invisible stats than almost any other champion I can think of, and he often builds to kind of support that as well. And yeah, Jarvan's going to give a lot to his team. Here's Loka now jumping on his Zatai, but Zatai well and truly out of the way there.
Jarvan's kit, I mean, that's one of the reasons why he was tricky to balance at one point, is that he just provides so much. An armor shred, an AoE slow, an AoE knockup, an attack speed buff, a armor buff, and, you know, the ultimate creating terrain, in addition to the, you know, the kind of percentage damage on his passive, is it's a crazy amount of things. But when it comes to team fights, he just provides so much, and that's why I see so much play.
Yeah. And this is, to me, a very standard Season 3 jungle matchup, I'd say. I think Xin v Jarvan is just something we see all the time now, so it's kind of nice to see that, you know, these guys know what's up as well. I mean, it's no real surprise. Maybe I'm sad that IG aren't playing a little crazier, but I mean, they're looking good here. They've got a small lead, but Najin Shield, I mean, I guess we should probably...
They're not out of it.
No, not at all. I was going to say, I mean, chat I think is very polarized here. Everybody wants their team to win, which I understand. But right now, this game is very, very close still. It's going to be these next few fights and engages that really determine what's going on. Looks like IG are actually positioning pretty aggressively to take out some turrets. The Ty's actually split pushing with that teleport as the equalizer comes out. You know that Najin Shield want to go in. Loco moving across as well, but no, maybe just a defensive ult there from Rumble. Just trying to save this turret. Diana's down the bottom though. Najin Shield going to try and force a 5v5 before Diana can teleport in. If they can insta-give somebody important, Kid, for example, would be a great target, and they could do it, but they got to go now because Diana's doing their turret down the bottom lane. And Najin Shield did not get the word, apparently, because it is go time. And they're just going to let Diana take the turret down the bottom for free. Zatai not stopping, by the way, has absolutely no reason to. This isn't quite Shen level, but it's pretty damn annoying. And it's nice that IG are using their teleport here to really abuse that global presence. And yeah, Najin Shield all over the map right now. Going to lose possibly 2 tier 2 turrets. Yes, they are.
It's one of those situations where you just wait for a really clear call from your shot caller, and maybe it's because they're a new team, or maybe it's because they were just undecided. But I know what you're saying. You need to initiate now, but if there aren't those opportunities to hit, you know, a skill shot, probably you're gonna need from Wolf to get a fight up there. There's not much you can do. Yeah,
and IG just slow taking over the map. Moonfall though gets used on Nofe. So Ty being very aggressive with his Diana here. I mean, we've seen PDD ult at a moment's notice on Malphite. Now has Warmogs as well for even more dive potential. This tier 2 turret probably not going to last very long. The Locket used there aggressively for the siege there by Illusion. Love to see that. And there it goes down. Unstoppable Force out on Dwarf. Great knockup as well with the Wild Growth. The box comes out there from Thresh, but it's all for naught there. That's one quick kill. Kha'Zix's very low. PDD over the top there with Xia Xiao's going to probably clean up Car. And Expression I was trying to get out on Rumbled. Everyone from IG somehow made it over the wall. Save does go down there on the back end of PDD. And IG going to continue pushing in here. Great equalizer though from Rumble. Picks up 4 people under it all. Zatai though with the styles on his Electro Harpoon. Misses one, but Expression picks it up there as Flame Spitter tags him on the way out. And IG possibly a little bit too deep there. Got a lot out of it though. 2 kills for 1. Possibly even, no, it was 2 for 1. And I think, yeah, the tier 2 turret in mid there as well. And a little bit of damage there to the inhibitor turret. So, getting chased now by Najin Shield. They'll be happy with that exchange though, but possibly a bit too deep, I'm not sure.
Well, it could have been more, that's the thing. Once they had 2 kills there was a chance for them to get the inhibitor turret, but fantastic equalizer once again. Clearly Expression, a Rumble Savant, just putting down excellent
And IG with the blue steel, gonna get Illusion killed there as Lokodoko picks up that kill. Has a Zeal now to go with this Infinity Edge, so it's chug now on his AD carry build. Certainly getting there, and late game Tristana is pretty devastating with all that range.
And a kill only gets them closer.
Yeah, that's... gold is good, especially for an AD carry.
This is a PSA, is it, Pastry Town?
Yes.
Gold
yes,
is good.
Oh man, PDD as well. Bit out of position here. Lokodoko is going to try to do the damage. Teleport coming here from Zatai. Very nice defensive use of that there. And everyone from Shield wisely backs off after that, so... a nuclear deterrent, it feels like there. Zatai blows that teleport cooldown to protect Malphite. And picks up blue
very classic
well.
Diana build coming out here. The Abyssal following up the early Hourglass pickup.
Yeah, this is more of an assassin style build, I suppose. I mean, she's still going to be nicely tanky. I mean, she's got kind of the classic Zhonya's Abyssal here. It's a nice balance of AP and defensive stats with both armor and MR, of course, from those 2 items. It's not kind of the new school we've seen more recently with the National's Tooth, which is, I guess, more of a AP bruiser style, if you will. There's definitely more bursty of his Zatai with a good amount of tankiness. But I mean, with the way he plays, he's setting up for his team. Diana often initiates, actually. That's one of her greatest strengths. With a very quick ultimate that's a very fast dash and a great follow-up with Moonfall. You can really just get in amongst the team and get a squishy target and go in from there. And I mean, we've seen it already with the Wild Growth Malphite combos. They can just do that as well with Diana, and so there's lots of good initiation here for IG, and I don't know if it's just Zatai likes doing kind of more of the assassin builds, or if it fits with his team, or if it's both here, but I like what he's doing, I understand.
The great thing about picking up the magic resistant armor that come along with the utility that both Abyssal and Zhonya's pose is that Diana hyperscales with AP on her defense, because AP gives her more shield strength. Shield strength works like effective HP, it is affected by resists. So you're effectively getting a stronger shield made stronger by the resists, and it's just the way it works is just so wonderful because it also, of course, scales your damage and makes you that amazing initiator. Your QR does more damage. You have the ability to stasis and reposition. It's just a lovely synergy on that champion.
PDD gonna get knocked up here in the mid. Cataclysm used there by Nofe. They want Malphite, but I don't think they really do that. Warmogs are keeping him well and truly intact. And Illusion now gonna dive in there with Audacious Charge Expression. Maybe caught out. Locket activated there from Illusion. As IG go in aggressive here, no teleport up for Diana. The rest of them catching up as well. They catch Expression, the Equalizer comes down. Najin Shield, do they want to go back in? They're trying to get Rumble out. Thresh in there, doing what he can. Unstoppable Force in there. Illusion with the Crescent Sweep. Denies the bullet time there. It's a little bit awkward. He's taking a lot of damage to Ty. Dunks on save there to pick him up. And there's the double for Diana as Jarvan goes down as well. So despite, I don't know, Shield there used a lot of cooldowns trying to pick up Malphite, and PDD is a very tanky man there with double Giant Spell, or Giant Spell plus Warmogs there, as he's almost up to Sunfire. I mean, I don't think they were ever hoping to kill that Malphite, and the rest of IG just catching up there could lead into a Baron as well.
They wanted to initiate, and they wanted to initiate now, but unfortunately the target Malphite was not an acceptable choice.
No, and Loka here, almost with the last whisper, has damage. We'll have more, but it could be too little too late here. IG taking a lot of damage here in this Baron. Zatai will come in to clean things up. He'll be a perfectly fine tank in here as well. Thresh trying to find the death sentence, but only gets Zatai as a result. Zin there does smite it up, and Baron will fall there going to IG. There's all the purple, the very powerful purple squiggles now around all their champion.
So Lokadoga's going to go back, pick up the last whisper here. Be quite set for mid-game damage. I mean, he doesn't have that Phantom Dancer, but he is definitely getting towards that late game. It's just unclear whether it'll make a difference because there's such strong initiation on IG, and those people that he's going to be in range of, Malphite and Zin, they're not going to die anytime soon.
A Wolf, they're actually catching Zatai with the ult. He tries to tally out, but gets death sentence. And then 4 people diving. It seems the only way Zatai dies is when 3 or 4 members of S.H.I.E.L.D. dunk on him. But, you know, if there are that many people and you're caught out, you're probably going to die. So Zatai,
if they're not trading it for anything, ostensibly they're not. It's, it's free gold.
I mean, IG are pressuring mid now, but yeah, looks like free gold is the case here. So Zatai giving a couple away here, but still playing very well on Diana regardless. Oracle's here for Xiao Xiao is going to move a lot of aggression through the enemy jungle. They're going to clear out all the wards here. Have even more map control than they already have. And 6-2 in turrets. I mean, the gold difference is definitely growing here, especially after that Baron buff. But to me, it's just the amount of control IG seem to have over this game that's really getting them to this spot.
It just feels like the assassins can't really do their job on the Najin Shield side. I mean, Kha'Zix needs to do a lot of work, but he's been well held. He's behind. And he hasn't been able to get any assassination off on the Misfortune because the fight's being played completely on the terms of IG, and he just kind of needs that hero assassination on Misfortune, and then maybe something can happen. But Diana, in comparison, has built a lot more tanking, can go right in there and do AoE CC. She's performing that assassin role just so much more.
I have to ask you, do you like Kid's build here? I mean, obviously he's not going to do nearly as much right-click damage without the attack speed, but this feels like a very high AD damage build, which is kind of, to me, all in on the ultimate in a way. I mean, yes, you'll still do plenty of right-click damage, and Pure Shots helps there as well, but there are no other attack speed modifiers on the team to really help Misfortune along, whereas Tristana has a couple more options there. Do you like the build, I guess? Or could have initiation there?
I hesitate to say anything.
Yeah, and Double Force coming in. Wolf, they're going to get crushed down as the Equalizer comes in there as well. But IG, complete control of that mid turret, just walked in there and took it. This inhibitor as well could meet a similar fate. Looks like it will. It's just going to go down to Kid. Najin Shield kind of scattering here. They're going to defend. Looks like IG will leave their base, but I guess now I can ask you more safely. What do you think of Kid's build?
I think given the landscape, given the fact that Diana and Zinja are both doing impressive damage. I mean, Zinja, despite not putting damage items, she doesn't feel like there's going to be any 1v1 duels where, you know, the crit and attack speed that provides single target damage for AD carries. She's not very worried about her right-click damage. It's still respectable. She hasn't optimized it, but her ultimate's going to absolutely wreck.
IG feeling frisky here. PDD wants to ult. He does it. Wild Growth in there as well. Bullet Time comes over for a nice chunk of damage, and Kid picks up a kill on Jarvan. Save gets dove on there. Completely CC to death as MF gets another kill. The triple coming out. No, Diana there denies that one, and Thresh. Loco Doka going to get knocked up, but Rocket jumps into the fountain to save himself. And IG with 3 clean kills and the Baron buff still ticking away. Going to get themselves a second inhibitor turret and the inhibitor itself here. So Ty actually recalling for some unknown reason. Probably wants to shop, get DFG, and teleport back into the action here. And there we are, the teleport coming back for Diana. Najin Shield, it's going to take a lot for them to defend this push here, but I think IG are going to close this game out here. And we might be moving on to game 2. Equalizer goes down there for Expression. Lokodoka gets massively chunked as the Ty comes in with that DFG. And Loco gets Fountain Dive there, blinks out of the fountain there as well with Flash. There's a Ty there with a very classy dive. Managed to avoid taking pretty much any laser damage, and I think IG are probably pretty safe. I mean, Najin Shield, they're going to fight here, but there is no shame in packing it up at this point. IG looks very strong here as I close out game 1, and I think we're going to be moving on very soon.
Yeah, I was actually worried the death spawners were starting to time out, but such high health with Baron buff. IG's going to take this game down.
Yeah, more kills coming out there. Thresh is getting cleaned up by Zatai again as the bullet time went in there as well. There's a kill for Kid as he picks up Kha'Zix, and finally the Nexus falls. A couple more kills there for IG to pad out those score lines, but at the end of the day, a very impressive performance, and as I said, just kind of took control of the map there and never really let it go after about the 25-minute mark. And Invictus Gaming pick up a nice game 1 here against Najin Shield.
The defining moment of that game for me for sure was the skirmish up top where Jarvan came in for a gank, 3v2 situation, and Kid just microed fantastically well to pick up a double kill before falling. 2v1 when you're getting ganked is all you could ever hope for, and just wonderful, wonderful play from Kid, who's translated into an 11-1-6 score.
Yep, so we'll see what's going to happen in game 2. It is a best of